Hello there and welcome to Fightmaster Yoga. I'm Lesley Fightmaster. This is Hatha Yoga Happiness, 30 days to feel a little bit happier. We're on day 11. I hope it's going well for you. Today our topic is from the Yoga Sutras. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is a book that was written, I think, about 5,000 years ago. This is Sutra 1.33, and sometimes it's called the Four Locks and Four Keys Sutra. So going along with yesterday's topic about how it's important to not take anybody personally, but people are definitely coming at us all the time. So what can we do? Well, this sutra helps, and I'm going to read a translation of it. By cultivating attitudes of friendliness toward the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard toward the wicked or those mean people, the mind stuff retains its undisturbed calmness. So basically we're being told that if we can just delight with people that are happy, and we can be friendly but have compassion for people that are unhappy, and those people that are just angry or mean to us, we'll just disregard them. And then the ones that are doing a great job and they're virtuous and they're just doing a good job at life, we can be happy for as well and delight in what they do. That's going to help our minds be more comfortable. Because if you think about it, how does it feel if you see somebody that is super happy all the time and you're having a hard time, so you feel miserable at their happiness? It doesn't feel good to you. Or if someone is always coming at you angry and mean, and then you're feeling attacked and just, terribly put out, that's not going to make you feel good either. So disregard that. So we're going to keep this in mind as we move through our practice today, that we can change our response to people depending on how they are acting toward us. And we can't change other people, but we can always change our response, and that is huge. So grab 2 blocks and a strap and a blanket or a pillow, roll out your mat, put on something comfy, and let's get started. So we're going to start sitting just for a moment so we can create our intention. Close your eyes, take a couple long breaths, lift the chest, ground down through the sit bones. And then let's take the hands together in front of the heart and just take a moment to set your own intention today, whatever you feel is appropriate for your practice. And releasing the hands, let your eyes softly blink open. We're going to come onto our backs to start today. So with the knees bent to begin, I'm going to draw the right knee into the chest and extend the left leg out. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to pull the belly in, lift the head and shoulders up, and reach the fingertips forward, then add lifting the left leg. If that's too much, hold on to the leg, and you can also keep that other leg down. So your lower back, you want to just make sure that it's not arching away from the floor too much. Breathing here for 3 and 2, and then extend that leg up. Inhale, couple more breaths. You can keep it bent or straight for 3 and 2 and 1. Release and draw the knees in. Keep your left knee hugging in. Extend the right leg out. Take a breath here. And then as you inhale, exhale, lift the head and shoulders up, pull in the belly, reach the fingertips forward, add that right leg if you like. Remember, you can keep holding on to the leg. It's a little bit easier. You can also keep that other right leg down and breathe. For 3, if it hurts the neck, feel free to hold on to the back of the head to support your neck. 2, and extend the leg up. 3 more breaths. And 2, keep reaching the fingertips forward. And 1, release it. Hug the knees in. So we're going to do that same thing again, but we'll add on a little bit. So keep the right knee in, extend the left leg, pulling in the belly, lift up, add the left leg for 3 So in a moment, we're going to come all the way up into Navasana, boat pose. You can hold onto the leg. You can press onto the floor to get up there. Inhale the right leg up. As you exhale, start to lift. Whoop, into Navasana. Knees can be bent or straight, but make sure the spine is long for 3. And 2. Now we're going to lean back slowly. If it hurts your back at all, put your hands down. Come all the way down and hug the left knee in. Inhale. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders, lift the right leg off the floor. Bring fingertips forward. So holding here for a couple breaths. Now extend the left leg up, can be bent, doesn't have to be straight. So remember, you can hold onto the leg to help you up. You can have your hands on the floor to help press you up. But eventually you're working toward, take a breath in, exhale, come on up. Knees can be bent or straight, but keep the chest lifted and the spine long for 3, and 2, and 1. Let's cross at the shins, roll forward, and make your way onto your forearms. So we're going to interlace the fingers and take the forearms down. Then tucking the toes, we'll come into dolphin. So in our dolphin pose, we're pressing into the forearms, but then try and lift away from the floor by lifting the shoulders away from the floor. Draw the belly in and breathing. Then from here, we'll step back about a foot toward the back of the mat and come forward into dolphin plank. So the hips are going to want to probably be higher than the shoulders, but try and keep them as low as the shoulders. But instead of bending the knees, lift the backs of the knees up and breathe here. 3, 2, and then walk the feet in, lift the hips back up into dolphin. And then onto the knees. Child's pose. Reach the arms forward. And then exhale, sweep the hands to the low back and either hook the thumbs or interlace fingers. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lift up and stretch the shoulders. And then just come up onto the crown of the head. Just gently with the crown of the head on the floor, start lifting the arms. And then back to child's pose, unclasp. Stretch the arms out front again. And then reclasp with the other pinky or thumb on the top. Inhale here, exhale, lift. And then once again, if it doesn't feel comfortable to come onto the crown of the head, then don't. Otherwise, just gently on the crown of the head as you reach up maybe a little bit more through the arms. And then back into child's pose. Reach those arms forward and come up onto the knees, tuck your toes, and downward facing dog. Go ahead and bicycle the legs if you feel like you'd like to. Now we kind of stretched out the legs already a little bit, but if you kind of feel like you want a little more, please do. Otherwise, just settle right into your down dog. Arms and ears are in line. Spread the fingers wide. Press into the base of the fingers, lift up through the forearms. Keep breathing. Keeping the belly lifted. And then from here, I'm just going to inhale and lift your right leg back and up from the inner thigh. And then exhale, draw the leg in, shoulders over wrists. Take an inhale here. Exhale, step the right foot up by the right hands. Let's bend the left knee and come up into a crescent, a high lunge. Reach up through the arms. Make sure the right knee is over the ankle. Pull the right hip back and then stretch through the back leg. Zip in through the belly, so instead of letting your back super arch, pull your ribs in, lift the belly, and stretch through the back body. Take one more breath here. And now take your back foot down, line up your front heel with your back arch, and then open into warrior two. Lift the chest, let the shoulder blades relax. Make sure you're pressing through the outer edge of your back foot and gaze over your fingertips. Long breaths. So we're always trying to find some steadiness and strength in every pose, as well as some ease and comfort. I almost lost my train of thought. So see if you can find both. Steadiness and strength in the arms and the legs, ease and comfort, shoulders, jaw, breath. In Sanskrit we call that having sthira and sukham, steadiness and comfort. Take one more breath here. And then windmill the arms down. Let's step back into plank. And knees can be up or down. We'll lower all the way to the belly. Inhale for cobra. Pull the hands toward the feet. And then exhale, make your way, tuck the toes to down dog. Stretching out in your down dog. Let's inhale the left leg back and up. Exhale, draw the leg in and bring the shoulders over the wrists. Pull the belly in, take a breath in. As you exhale, lightly step it up by the left hand. Bend the back knee, come on up into high lunge. Make sure the left knee is over the ankle, pointed straight ahead. Pull the left hip back gently. And then, keeping all of that, tailbone will lengthen down, your buns will lengthen down, hip bones will lift up, and straighten through the back leg. Reach up through arrow straight arms. Make sure that your elbows aren't bent. Because think about it, we don't really straighten our arms all that much, other than in yoga class. We don't really reach them overhead all that often. So over time, eventually, if we don't keep doing it, they won't straighten. So keep straightening those arms. 2 more breaths here. And then we'll come into our warrior two. So take the back foot down, line up heel to arch, and open up into warrior two. Press through the outer edge of the back foot, back inner thighs lifting to keep the left knee over the middle toes. I'm just breathing here. Notice what goes on in the mind. Notice if you can quiet down the thoughts, just acknowledge them and let them float away. We'll take just a few more breaths here. Press into the front heel, press through the outer edge of the back foot. One more breath in. Exhale, windmill the arms down. Make your way to down dog any way you like. You can go right into it or to plank. And lower chaturanga. And inhaling up. Exhale to down dog. Breathe here. Remember, if you want to break, take it. You can push the pause button. You can take a child's pose. Totally your choice. Another long breath in. Exhale it all out. Bend the knees, look to the hands, step or hop your feet up. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet, rise up with a long spine. Inhale, and exhale to Samastitihi. Let's take ourselves to face the long side of the mat. If you have blocks, put one in the front, one in the back, or back front, I don't know, either way. I have to move this out of the way. We're going to take triangle pose into half moon pose. So step the feet out for triangle pose. Turn your right leg all the way out and your back toes in slightly. Take the arms up, inhale. Exhale, hinge from the front hip, reach out and down. So we did this one yesterday. I'm going to keep my hand on the block. Press into the base of the big toe of the right foot. Lengthen my spine from my hip crease to the armpits. And we're going to add the top arm like we did yesterday. So reaching left arm forward, inhale. Exhale, sweep it down, bring it behind the back or hook the thigh. So we'll roll the shoulder back, keep lifting through the belly. So in a moment, we're going to move into half moon pose. Your front toes are going to want to turn in toward the side of your mat. Try to keep your front foot parallel, the outer edge of the foot parallel with the outside of your mat as best you can. So we're going to keep this top arm like it is. If it feels like that's just going to throw you off, then take your hand to your hip instead. Here we go. Look down at the front foot, bend the knee, pick up your block, take it 6 to 12 inches in front of you, and then float your back leg up. Your back heel should be in about the same line as your hip. Keep rolling that top shoulder back if you have that half wrap. Oh, if you come out of it, here's what you do. Lift back in. It's no, oh my goodness, it's not the end of the world, but it feels like it sometimes. For 3 breaths. 2, and then we're going to make our way again into triangle pose. So slowly bend the front knee, slide the block back, and land again in triangle. Then reach your left arm up, look down at the front foot, and inhale, come all the way back up, and we'll do the other side. So take the feet to parallel, turn your left leg all the way out, your back toes in slightly, line up heel to arch. Inhale, arms to a T, shifting from the front hip crease, reaching out and down for Trikonasana triangle pose. We'll see if this side's any better for me today. So it's always different on different days. You never know what kind of body you're working with until you start working. But the important thing is to work with the body that you have today, not with the one you had a couple years ago or last week, not with the one that you intend to have in a couple of weeks from now. But always staying with that body. Inhale, reach your right arm forward. Exhale, sweep it down. Take the right hand to the low back or reach around for the thigh. And rolling the shoulder open. So remember, you don't have to keep the half wrap when you come into half moon pose. If it trips you up, keep your hand on your hip. You can add the arm up again while you're in half moon or not. So we're going to watch that front foot to make sure the toes don't turn in toward the big toe side of the foot, but keep the foot parallel with the outside of the mat. Look down at the foot, bend the front knee, pick up your block, take it 6 to 12 inches in front, float the back leg up. Your back heel about in the same line as your hip, and if you've got this half wrap, keep rolling the shoulder back, pressing into the base of the big toe of the left foot, and breathing. Really reach your right sitting bone towards your right heel on that top leg. Finding length there. Both legs are real active. For 3. If you fall out, just come right back in. 2. And then we'll slowly start to bend the front knee. Take that block back and come right back into triangle pose. Now reach that top arm up. And then looking down at the front foot, inhale, come on up, bring your feet to parallel, and step or hop your feet together. Let's turn back to the front of the mat, and make our way to Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, fold in. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, step or float back through Chaturanga. Inhale, press up into up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. We're going to come down onto the knees and do another dolphin pose. So we're working up into a headstand today. And if you've done headstands before, then you know how to do it and you won't be so uncomfortable. If you've never done a headstand before, only do a headstand if you don't have any injuries in your neck or your shoulders or your spine. And make sure you don't have high blood pressure or glaucoma or it's during your monthly cycle when it's heavy. If that's the case, you're gonna stay with dolphin pose. So here's dolphin, interlacing the fingers, press down into the forearms and lift. So dolphin pose is very similar to how we'll set up for our headstand, which is why we're doing dolphin, because it's a little bit easier to do dolphin than it is to do a headstand, but we can still feel the same action. So as you're pressing into the forearms, and lift away from the floor with your shoulders. And make sure your shoulder blades are moving toward your chest. Now if you're rounded in your back here and you can't get your back to flatten out, then stay in dolphin pose, no headstands yet. Now step back, we did this earlier, but step back a foot and come into dolphin plank, and then take your legs together. Just get the shoulders and elbows lined up. Take the legs together and squeeze. So this much is how, it's gonna be this much work upside down in the headstand pretty much. So you're really engaging the leg muscles and the belly muscles, and your back is not arching, but you're keeping lifted. Let's walk back up and to the knees. Now I'm going to show you from this angle, I'm going to show you my shoulders with my head on the floor. So you need to find the middle of your head, right at the crown. So if you put your fingers in your ears, it's right about where you touch at the top. I'm going to put my crown of the head down, and I'm going to rest the back of my head in my hands. And then just watch, I'm coming into dolphin. Now, if I'm not using my muscles in the shoulders, it's going to look like this. And now all the weight's on my head and neck. As I press down, I lift the shoulders away from the floor so much I could even lift my head right off the floor. That's what you want to do in a headstand. So when you're in a headstand, about 30% of the weight is on your head, but the rest is on the shoulders and the arms. Grab a wall space. Definitely use a wall. We're going to set up just like we did, with the fingers interlaced. I'm going to have the knuckles touch the wall. Put the crown of the head down and come into my dolphin. So if you're not going upside down, you're going to stay with this. If you're going to make your way upside down, walk in a little, bending one knee, take it toward the wall, and then the other. With the legs up the wall, flex your ankles, and then work on, instead of letting your back arch, work on reaching your buns to your heels. Keep pressing onto those forearms so that you have less weight on your head. Anytime you need to come down, just come down. Keep breathing. When you do come down, the first thing you're going to do is take a child's pose. All right, you ready? Let's bend the knees, come on down, right into child's pose. So make sure you stay in child's pose for a few long breaths before you sit up. Otherwise, you can get dizzy. And then if you want to play with that a little bit more, then push the pause button, do it again. Otherwise, I'm going to slide my mat back again where it was, or approximately where it was. And come into downward facing dog. So come into your down dog, and this is important after a headstand too, because we want to release the head and neck. So just lightly nod your head yes, and turn your head no. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. Then walk your hands and your feet toward each other. Keep your feet hips distance apart. Interlace your fingers here and take them right to the base of your skull, right at where the occipital bone is. And then you're gonna just pull down. Take a little bit of gravity. You can bend the knees if you like. but use a little bit of weight in the arms to stretch out your neck. And then walk yourself into your down dog again. Now, your choice, either stay right here in down dog or join me with one more vinyasa, inhaling to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. And exhaling down dog. Now come through to seated for bridge pose. So bridge pose is another great pose to practice after your headstands because it's good for the neck to be in this position here. Kind of just lengthens it out again. Take your feet hips distance apart. Outer edges of the feet are parallel, and come on up when you're ready. Now you can always just take supported bridge. I'm going to do that for a little bit, I think, today. Feels good. You can take regular or supported. And if you are in regular bridge, come on down and take a rest. If you're in supported bridge, you can stay in it with me. And if you were in regular bridge and you want to come up again, take your feet again to hips distance apart. Press down into the heels and lift into bridge. Roll the shoulders under if you like. Interlacing fingers, or if you're in supported bridge, we're just hanging out. And isn't it nice? I love it. And if you're in regular bridge, come on down. And if you're in supported bridge, also come on down. And we'll hug the knees into the chest and rock a little here side to side. And now roll yourself off to your right. And with your left hand, come on up. Extending the legs, let's do a little twist. So making sure you're sitting up nice and tall. So remember, if you're kind of rounded in the back, sit up on a blanket or a pillow, okay? Bend your right knee, bring your right hand behind you. Inhale, lift your left arm up, and exhale, take it across. Alternately, you can just hug the leg too. It's a little less intense and that might feel better. If you want to go in deeper, you'll take it across and twist. As you inhale, sit up really tall. As you exhale, roll your right shoulder back to twist. Make sure your left toes point straight up to the ceiling. Keep your breath real steady. As you inhale, bring the head to center. Exhale to unwind. Straighten out the right. Bend the left. Bring the left hand behind you. Inhale, right arm is up. Exhale, take it across and twist. So again, inhale, sit up tall. Remember, alternately, you can hug onto that leg. It's a little less intense. As you exhale, roll your left shoulder back. Pull your right toes back. Make sure the right toes point straight up. Keep your spine nice and long. Just a couple more breaths. And then head to center and unwind. Let's extend the legs for Paschimottanasana. So pull the toes back, sitting tall, inhale, arms reach, hinge from the hips, exhale forward, pull the chest forward, inhale, and extend as you exhale. Remember, you can use a strap to hold on. We want to kind of keep the length. We're not trying to round here. That's not good. We want to lengthen. We round our backs too much anyways. Plenty of other things. And then head up, inhale, and release. Coming onto our backs, we'll take happy baby pose. So taking the little toe sides of the feet, drawing the knees in toward the armpits, and you could stay static or gently rock side to side. Nice hip opening. And then option to just stay with happy baby, or taking your right big toe with your first two fingers, or holding the right leg. Exhale, take the leg out to the right and just stretch it out to the side. Just a couple breaths here. And then we'll rebend it. Left two fingers to left big toe, or hold on to the leg, extending the left leg out to the left if you like, or stay with happy baby. And of course, option to extend both legs out. Keep the spine long, the tailbone's lengthening toward the floor. And then bending the knees. Let's take the feet to the floor. Press into the floor with your heels so that you can draw your shoulder blades down toward your waist, and then take your tops of the hips and lengthen them toward your heels. Let your feet come out, flop them open. Bring your arms by your sides, palms up. Close your eyes and come into just natural breathing, your quiet mind and quiet body for Shavasana. Right where you are, take a longer, deep breath in. Let it go. Start to move your fingers, your toes, and your hands and feet. Reach through your arms and legs. Take a nice long stretch. And then bending your knees, roll off to your right side. And just pause on your right side for a moment. It's just a nice little place to rest. And then using your left hand, make sure to press yourself up very carefully. Don't want to just jerk yourself up after that nice rest. So our quote today is from the Yoga Sutras. It is Sutra 1.33, which I read in the beginning. I'm going to read again. By cultivating attitudes of friendliness toward the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and disregard toward the wicked or angry people, the mind stuff retains its undisturbed calmness. So remembering that we cannot control the other people around us, but we can always control our response, and we can respond keeping the mind calm. Let's bring the hands together. Hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. Our hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. Our hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications, sending out positive energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you. I'm so glad that you joined today. Don't forget to push the like button, subscribe, and share. And visit fightmasteryoga.com, and most importantly, have your wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you're feeling a little bit happier. I'm telling you that doing this is helping me to feel a little bit happier, so I hope you are too. Bye.